Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Drake's State of Mind. Now, there's been some news headlines that's been dominating, the topic in America. One of them has been the Jussie Smollett saga, if you want to call it that. Now, last time I had reported, he was facing like 16 charges of, orchestrating a fake racist anti-gay attack on himself. And so what happened from there was all 16 charges were actually dropped. And it shocked some people. Some people it didn't shock, especially his defenders, because they were like, he was innocent all the time. I don't know what to believe, but they're saying that they're saying that the prosecutor misled the public and about the dropped felony charges. A lawyers group says. So it says prosecutors who dropped felony charges against Jussie Smollett over his report of a hate crime attack have fundamentally misled the public on the law and circumstances surrounding the dismissal, an Illinois lawyers group said. So the way Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox and her office resolved the case also was abnormal and unfamiliar to the practice of law, wrote the Illinois Prosecutors Bar Association. So this story is just it's still getting weirder and weirder. But I mean, as far as I know, the charges were dropped against him. It's not going to go to trial as of yet. Now there's been calls for, another investigation to go. Even dumbass Donald Trump, who really has no jurisdiction or can't get the Department of Justice to look into, federal charges, can't look into this case. He was trying to say that he was trying to get them to check into it. As far as I know, he can't do that. He doesn't have the jurisdiction. But we'll see what happens. If anything else breaks in this case, I'm pretty sure I'll be on it. But so that's pretty much it. This story is weird as hell. And my whole thing is, if he did do it, was the shit worth it? And is he actually going to get the raise that he was looking for Empire? But then again, there's rumors that Empire was going to get shut down, after this whole debacle. So people might be out of a job, or Fox might let it rock. Who knows? This is just a weird ass case, man. It's weird. And hey, if you out here making up shit, stop doing that. But if the shit really did happen to him, and nobody really believed him because of what the cops were leaking to the press and everything, then hey, it is what it is, man. But me, I don't know what to believe, so I don't really care. We're just gonna leave it at that, and if anything happens, I'll get back to it. I'm gonna jump into this Cardi B shit. In my opinion, this is some shit that you should just really keep to yourself. This is some shit that you don't say to the public. Try to justify what you did or nothing. Because you see how they out here, dragging Bill Cosby and them. But she said, she used to rob men and drug them and shit. Trying to justify that she had very little options, and that was how she got her money. But I'm like I said, that's some shit that you just keep to yourself. Just take that with you to the grave. I wouldn't even confess that shit to one of my best friends, closest people to me. Some of this shit you just gotta keep to you gotta keep close to your vest. and just take it with you to the grave. Like, I wouldn't have said this shit because, I mean, she said it 3 years ago, and I'm pretty sure that she didn't think that she was going to, I guess, ascend to, I guess, like the type of status that she's at now, where she's like damn near a cultural phenomenon, and she's very popular, things of that nature. It was just something that was said on Instagram Live, but just keep that shit to yourself, man, because like anything that you say in your past can come back and bite you in the ass nowadays. They're bringing up people's old tweets. You know, you got some shit on Instagram, like anything. Once you hit a certain level, you start making that bread, people either gonna try to bring you down, or they're gonna try to extort you and you know, get some of your money. But you know, pretty much so that's just been causing a whole bunch of, I guess, like arguments that I've been seeing on Twitter, I've been seeing on Facebook, people going in on comments on Instagram, things of that nature. So she, you know, said, you know, she drug niggas up and then rob them. Now, she's not the first person I've heard, you know, do some shit like this. Like, I done heard like plenty of females or whatever that said that, you know, they've done some shit like that, or, you know, heard some shit like that, like in rap songs where niggas be like, yo, these chicks be setting people up, you know, robbing niggas, or even like smashing, you know, after having sex with the dude go to sleep, yo, and next thing you know, you wake up, all the money's gone from your wallet, credit cards, things of that nature. So she's not the first person to do it, but you know, just going through this R. Kelly thing, going through the Bill Cosby thing, the whole Me Too movement. So it's like, this is like the opposite. This is the opposite side of Me Too. So what do you do when a female saying that she was out here doing shit like that, you know, and people were just jumping on black dudes, you know, Bill Cosby, all this and that, saying, you know, that nigga guilty, lock his ass up, things of that nature. So I see women standing up for Cardi B and, you know, making reference to the Bill Cosbys, the R. Kellys, bringing up Rick Ross's, you know, you didn't even know it line when he said, you know, he put Molly in the chick champagne or whatever, and when she passed out, he gonna have his way with her, and she didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So shoes on the other foot. But my question is, you know, is she going to lose an endorsement? Is she going to lose endorsements like Rick Ross did? You know, is anybody willing to step up and talk about it? There was one dude who was alleged victim who has come forward and you know, gave his encounter, gave his experience of what happened. So is anybody else going to step up? Is it going to be a Bill Cosby thing? Is it going to be like 40 niggas coming out of the woodwork and be like, yo, she got me too, me too? As my man Jason would call that shit, the me too movement for dudes, you know. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what's going on. So, and she never really apologized for any of these statements that she made or nothing. You know, she never came out with a public apology. She just had like the justification of why she did it. So obviously she has no remorse. She ain't feel sorry for it. So, I mean, let's see what happens if they drag her through the mud, if they take away her bread, if people turn their backs on her. You know, it'll be interesting. So that's all I got to say about that. If anything else happens about that, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to talk about that too. So let's move on to the next subject. Now, some news that really came out of nowhere. Lil Uzi Vert, you know, he joined Jay-Z's Roc Nation family. You know, he's actually going to be managed by Roc Nation. So I'm not sure if he still has the deal with DJ Drama and Don Cannon's Generation Now record label, which he was claiming that is preventing him from releasing his sophomore album, Eternal Atake. But DJ Drama and Don Cannon, like, they've always been stating that they've never blocked him from wanting to wanting to drop his album. He can drop his album whenever he wants to. Because I'm like looking at it, the situation, like, it would really make no sense for them to try to block him from putting an album out, because that's taking money out of their pocket. So I think Lil Uzi pretty much realizes like how much money that he's making for DJ Drama and Don Cannon and their situation, even though like I don't think they really have like official paperwork signed. It's like more of like a buddy agreement, like a handshake type agreement. But because before, like, the original deal was with Generation Now, and it's with I want to say Atlantic Records. I'm not sure exactly like who his parent label is, but he's just trying to, I think, like, he's trying to eliminate the middleman, which is Generation Now, and make all the money that is that's being generated, like, all the money to go in his pocket. Now, I can't blame the artist for, you might start off, everything is you're broke, you sign a deal with, like, somebody who has more of a name in the industry. It's all love at first, until the money starts coming in. Then you start seeing how much money people are making off of you. Then you're like, whoa, hold up, I made you this much money and this is how much I'm getting. Nah, like, I need all my change. So I can kind of see him trying to eliminate the middleman, but he's misleading his fans, saying that they're blocking him from putting the music out, when I think, like, he's making a personal choice not to put the music out because he don't really want them to eat, and he's trying to get himself out of that situation. Now, this is where Jay-Z's Rock Nation steps in, and from what I read, they're supposed to be rearranging some numbers, and I don't know, who knows, like, this album that he's going to release upcoming could possibly be like the last album on Generation Now, and then I don't know if he would move forward like with just Rock Nation and Atlantic Records. But for the record, Atlantic Records historically has not really been a good label for hip hop acts. I mean, Lupe Fiasco's well documented drama or war with them, like, has been like well documented, like, and you'll be the first to tell you that Atlantic Records is not a good place for you to go if you are a hip hop artist, because they want you to put out a certain style of record. Now, I guess, like, for Lupe, that will be a little bit more difficult to deal with than a Lil Uzi, because Lil Uzi puts out, like, stuff that's more geared towards the radio, so we're going to see what happens with this, further developments with this story, because before, like, Lil Uzi had said that he had retired, I guess, like, before this whole Rock Nation thing, before Jay-Z and them came out. So Jay-Z always has a soft spot for Philadelphia. He signed Beanie Siegel, State Property, back in the Rockefeller days. He has the festival every year in Made in America in Philadelphia. So he always fucks with Philadelphia heavy. And Lil Uzi is another Philadelphia artist that he's helping. He manages Meek Mill, help get Meek Mill out of prison. So Jay always messes with Philly, and Philly always really shows Jay love back. So I mean, it's good to see someone at Jay-Z's stature in this game to help another artist. Lil Uzi is still, he's popular, but he's not on Jay-Z's level. So for him to reach back and help an artist like Lil Uzi, even though I don't listen to Lil Uzi's music, but I don't want to see anybody anybody getting their money stopped because of a situation that they can't hash out with the record label that they're on. You know, so hopefully this gets worked out. He'll be able to still do his thing. You know, he'll still be able to eat, and everybody in this situation will be, you know, taken care of. So we'll see what happens. Now, for all my college basketball fans, you know it's our favorite time of the year. You know, the first weekend of March Madness, the NCAA tournament wrapped up this past weekend. Actually, the Sweet 16 just kicked off yesterday, and you know, this year there hasn't really been too big of upsets, like no historic upsets or like really no big huge upsets. You know, within the first two rounds, I guess like you could really say Oregon, you know, when they beat Wisconsin, that was an upset. UC Irvine beating Kansas State, you know, that was a pretty big upset. I really didn't expect UC Irvine to, you know, get past Kansas State. Let's see who else. You know, that was pretty much like every game really took form, you know, how it was supposed to go. Now, last night in the Sweet 16, you know, Texas Tech dominating Michigan like that. I really didn't expect, you know, Texas Tech to really put the clamps on Michigan. Like, their defense really locked them down. And then on top of that, Michigan couldn't buy a bucket. But, you know, that was pretty much the byproduct of Texas Tech extending their defense, because Michigan is a really good shooting team, but this year's squad was a little bit more, I guess, like offensively inept than last year's squad that made it to the national championship game. They had more firepower. Now, like, what would have been a really big upset would have been UCF knocking off Duke. Duke ended up, you know, getting past UCF by one. That was like a drama-filled game. It was a really good game, going back and forth, and you know, pretty much like Taco Falls, like he really like affected the game. You know, he's 7'6", so he really should. He clogged up the paint. This year's Duke team is not like a really great three-point shooting team like they have historically been in the past. So pretty much what UCF did was they ran zone on Trey Jones's man, and because Trey Jones, like, he can't shoot. He's good with the mid-range shot, but as far as him shooting three-pointers, like, he's not as good as his brother. He's not as good as his brother. But, you know, Zion Williamson, he came back. You know, he came back in the ACC tournament, and Duke's been playing, you know, pretty good ball ever since he's been back. So they play Virginia Tech in the Sweet 16, which is actually tonight. Virginia Tech did beat Duke earlier this year, but that was without Zion Williamson. So we're going to see if Zion, you know, if he can get them past Virginia Tech, which I should expect him to, because like he's been playing like out of his mind. All right, so Liberty actually had a pretty shocking run, you know, in the NCAA tournament. You know, they upset Mississippi State. You know, Liberty is a 12 seed, Mississippi State's a 5 seed. So they upset them by 4, 80-76 in the first round. Then they ended up losing to Virginia Tech. So, you know, their run came to an end. Also, LSU, them losing their coach, Wade Davis, like late in the season. They've rallied around like their interim coach. They made it like a little run in the SEC tournament. They're a 3 seed. They took out Yale and they took out Maryland. So they play LSU. LSU plays Michigan tonight. You know, and to see who moves on to the Sweet 16. Gonzaga took care of Florida State yesterday, 72-58. So Gonzaga meets Texas Tech in the Elite Eight. So my Tar Heels, we pretty much handled some business. We had an early scare against Iona in the first round. I was like, I hope we're not a number 1 seed that gets taken down by a 16 seed. But we ended up getting our shit together in the second half, and we ended up winning by 15. Then against Washington, got back into form, beat Washington 81-59. Now we play Auburn, who they pretty much handled some business. Like they took out. I didn't expect them to take out Kansas like they handled Kansas. Like they manhandled Kansas. Ended up winning by 14. So North Carolina, my squad, plays Auburn tonight. Winner goes on to the Elite Eight. And last but not least, Houston takes on Kentucky. This year's Kentucky team, which is a number 2 seed in the tournament, I actually think Houston has a really good chance of beating them. I mean, I think Houston's a better team. Kentucky's team is not as strong as it was last year, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. So, winner of the Houston-Kentucky game plays the winner of the North Carolina-Auburn game in the Elite Eight. So, I'm really excited. After this weekend, we'll have our Final Four matchups. And I just love, March Madness. I love this time of year in the college basketball world. Let's go. Let's go. That's all I can say. I can't wait for the games to come on. I would definitely love to thank everyone who shows love to my podcast, everyone who listens, everyone who shares this podcast, who spreads the word. I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. Without y'all, this wouldn't be possible. I just like to say thank you, because there's a whole bunch of things that I've been trying to get out there. I stream on Twitch, on the Twitch platform. My username on Twitch is King Gordo Gaming. Also, it's King Gordo Gaming on YouTube as well. I post some gaming videos on there. I actually have another channel on YouTube. It's Andre Gainair. Try to put up, monologue videos because I'm an aspiring actor as well. So I got some more monologue videos coming with that. Let's see what else. Like I just want to thank everyone, because I try to share as much stuff on Twitter, on Facebook. I found that more strangers support your boy than family and friends and things of that nature. I don't know why that is, but that's how it's always historically been. And it's not just my situation either. I've seen like a whole bunch of people who are in business, who are in the arts, who do podcasts, things of that nature. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's because people are familiar with you and they're like, but most people don't really, your friends and family won't really support you until they see, oh, okay, like this dude is actually, doing something. He's a big deal or something like that. But you got the strangers who've listened to you from day one, who show your projects support, like whether it be a podcast, a movie, music, whatever it is. But yes, I would like to thank you, the listener, for showing me love and showing me support. And yeah, until next episode, I got y'all. And I'll at your boy. One love.